I unmounted the second IF can from the Motorola chassis because, as you know, I think I explained last time in the other video that Motorola apparently mounted two mica capacitors inside the base of these IF cans. And by inside I mean, if you take a look at the foot of the other IF can I repaired, is in between the plate on top and the base of the IF can, there is a tiny sliver of a space, just enough to put in two mica capacitors, I imagine of a few picofarad. Now the problem is, if I leave those capacitors in and I would mount new capacitors in parallel with the pins, just as those miniature mica capacitors would be mounted, it wouldn't do any good, because they are silver plated mica capacitors, and in my opinion after a while they would start to short out. So whether you like it or not, if you're confronted with IF cans of this type, you will either have to find new old stock or unmount the existing ones and disassemble them to take out those mica capacitors. Now I think even if you found new old stock, you would still be confronted with the same problem, because they are silver coated. Silver starts to oxidize after a while, and well, ultimately it would give you just the same problem, exactly the same problem. So what I intend to do is to disassemble this second IF can and show you how I go about taking out those mica capacitors. Reassembling this IF can is really doing the same thing, the same actions as disassembling it, but in reverse order. So I won't bother showing you all the tedious steps of remounting it into one, but I will show you, because I think it might interest you, how to disassemble those mica capacitors. Now mind you, the method I use is of course my method. If you find another method or even a better method, then please do so. I try to keep destruction to a minimum, but inevitably you will have to cut here and there, and one of the things that you will have to cut, let's say, is that rivet which holds the base mounted parts together. You know, this copper colored brass rivet. Okay, so give me a moment to set up everything and to undo the can itself, and then we'll get started. Oh, by the way, if you want to pull off this can from the base, you can see there are tiny little nicks in the four corners. So this is where the aluminum of the can was folded over the base to hold it tight to the base. So what you need to do is, with duckbill pliers like these pliers, so with no ribs, no pattern inside, just flat steel, you bend those little tabs back out so that you can slide the housing easily off the base. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so give me a moment and we'll get things set up.